So let's talk about 1Password. So this is accessible from the internet. So you have a website version, which is available in several languages. But let me put it in English. All the time it goes back to French. Very annoying. Oh, there you go. So today I would like to talk to you about the 1Password Manager. This is a tool which exists on the web. You can access the account, the tool at 1password.com. The tool is also available on the mobile. And to make it operate, you can also add some extension on your browser. So you typically I use Safari, Chrome, and Firefox, and I have installed the extension for 1Password on these tools. This allows me to actually have to forget storing my password on a notebook. I can simply do it from directly from my browser. If you look at the top of my browser here, there is a little icon, a circle, blue and black. This is what allows me to access my passwords. So what to first connect myself, I have created an account on 1Password. And from this account, I will be able to access my team, my Wiki team. So the creation of the account is completely free, whilst the access to a group is for a pay. So here, as you see, when I try to
Florence, your microphone, I'm sorry.
Okay, so when I access my account, I land on my dashboard. The dashboard of the team, which is in this case, the Wiki in Africa team. I can see all the active members in my team. So there are currently 7 active members in the team, and there is one person who used to be part of the team, but is no more now, so is recorded as suspended. When I want to add some new team members, I can do it through an invitation system. So the invitation is here, and the invitation is done in this way. I can send an email or I can send a sign-up link to a person. Then this person needs to create an account on 1Password and then to agree to join the team. And I need to validate the fact that she validates joining the team. So it's a 3-part process before she actually is. And then all the group members are hosted here. How much does it cost? So in our case, it costs us for 7 active members and the possibility to invite 5 guests, up to 5 guests. It costs us currently $35 per month. So that's all user included. We have recently asked for a nonprofit plan, which would reduce the cost by 2. So we may pay a little bit less in the future. There are different plans. The plan which selected is a 1Password team. So it's typically good for teams around 10 people. And there are less features than for the business one, but this actually fits what we need and is. And when I go back, it logged me out. So the parameters to be logged out the 1Password account are up to me. That can be each time I want to access a password. That can be only once per day. That can be once I log in. There are several options. So numbers, what can I do? What I can do is create vaults. Vaults are spaces where only a selected number of people can join and where I will host the information I want to keep there safe because it's sensitive information. First, let me show you an example. Our admin vault contains 3 people. So it's and not with our administrative assistant. So the software, the access, the private information, sensitive information stored is only accessible to these three people, not to the other member of the team. In comparison, if I go to the social media, members have access because I was able to.
Sorry, Florence, your mic again.
So this is different from our social media vault, where I added the 7 members of the group because I want all of them to have access to the different elements which are in the social media vault. So I really can do some fine tuning and select who has access to what, which is very important to us for security. I created a specific vault where I am the only member, which is the default vault, just to show you how it works. So one person in that vault, what does the vault include? Elements that I have created for you to see what's working, what we can create with that. So for example, I can store a sensitive information, which is my social security number. Or I can save a highly super confidential note that I want to keep safe here. Or I can put my the registration system, my PIN number for my access to this awesome organization, Penguins in Antarctica reward. In this case, I can show you the example of the My Password Gate password. So this element includes a password, which is my gate password, and I cannot double click on it. I can only copy it or reveal it. When I reveal it, you can see that it's a very simple password with only 5 elements, which means the system tells me that the strength of this password is not so great. I can change this password if I want to. I can upgrade it by clicking on Edit, and I can go to this little key thing, and the key will propose to regenerate a brand new, very strong password. So this is a very practical mean to identify whether our passwords are weak and to upgrade them when they're weak. Another thing that is interesting in terms of security is that I can also, here you see, I can share this password. I can move it from vault to vault. I can duplicate to have it in 2 different vaults, but I can also share it with external people with a private link. And when I do that, or when anyone does that in the team, I can see here the sharing history. In this case, I never shared it. But let's say if I shared this vault with somebody else and somebody shared this link with someone else, I will know it will be written here. I can also look at all the history, just like a wiki. I can look at the history of the vault, of the item, and see which the different version over time, and I can revert to an old version in case I made a mistake. So this is a typical entry. How do I use it? I can demonstrate with this entry, which is a brand new account I created just 2 days ago. So for example, when I am on Wikipedia, disconnected, better. If I want to connect myself, I have my extension here. I am logged in. I can enter the name. And when I click on the password, this only proposes me the one from the browser. If I go there and connect myself, probably need to reload, it will then propose me the one from 1Password. And I have the whole list of those currently hosted on Password. My son, myself, and the brand new one from Wiki for Wiki in Africa, which is stored in 1Password. That means I do not need to remember that password. It's absolutely not needed. All I need to remember is exclusively my master password, and that's it. Then I can connect myself. So the first benefit of the system is that I can store in my vault, in my favorite vault, all the things I want to keep safe, which requires sensitive information, password, specific numbers. I do not need to remember them. All I need to remember is the master password. the system will find its way otherwise. Of course, this is only for one person. When it gets interesting is that when we share the same vault, so for example, if here the information stored is a Twitter account, which is shared with other people, it will be the same. I can store the Twitter password in this vault, and everyone from the team can connect themselves uniquely from this vault. How do I create new entries in my vault? Either I can import passwords, or I can click on this, and I have a full list of templates. So they are interesting because this is not the same type of private information. So for example, I can create an entry about my bank account. I can put the whole private information about my bank account. It will be stored there, and then I can access it from anywhere. Same thing, the most classical one is creating a login entry, in which case we'll have to enter a name for this entry, the username, the password, the website, and so on. I can either create it from there, or if I were on Wikipedia, I wanted to create a brand new account. When I actually create the account,
Sorry, your microphone. Now I think it's good.
Now it's good. So when I want to have new entries in my vault, either I import passwords from elsewhere, or I create entries manually, or when I am on any website, at any point, if I want to create an account, when I start entering my information, the system automatically asks me if, well, just, whatever restriction, technical, it will propose me to store it in 1Password. So that means most of the time on a daily basis, I do not need to access 1Password at all. It is all automatically done as long as my master password is being used. I go there, I create a new account, it stores it automatically over there.
Do you have any limit on how many passwords can you save in 1Password?
I have not met any limit so far. I don't think there is one. I think it can become an issue if I have too many more to find it when I want to clean things. In which case, a good idea is to put some tags so that can more easily find things. For example, I probably put, well, I don't know why I put a Wikipedia tag on this so that I can get the list of all elements being with this tag. So on my private personal vault, I have over 120 entries, which is not a problem on a daily basis. But when I want to clean it up, 120 is complicated. So I can either search them or I can use the tag system to find them. Or the category system, like I want to look on password or on a reward program, then I will have my selected list. So far, I never found it a problem. Maybe when we get 1,000 passwords, it becomes a problem. But so far, it's fine for me.
Please let us know.
Yeah. So one thing that is super interesting, once we have that, so you understand that all I need to remember is my master password, and I can have a shared vault with others, and everyone will be able to access the password for this without having to actually know the password. And even if I change it last night, it will still work because it's automatically updated. So it's super practical from a perspective of security because I can change them a lot of the time. And I also have some analysis system, which will tell me in my vault, what is the situation? How many passwords I have are excellent? How many are weak? How many are medium? How many are duplicated? How many are from insecure websites? How many have been compromised because there was a security breach, a data breach on that website? It will warn me of such situation, and I can query the system to know if there was a breach. So obviously, in my demo vault, it's not super interesting, but I can show you, for example, the result of the watchtower on my personal vault. I want to make sure to enter directly to the sign tower, otherwise it shows some sensitive information. Gosh, I lost the direct link. So you will have to do a little cut in the video here, please. So if I access a private one, and please delete this part, I view the vault, I go to my watchtower, and have to display anything, so it's fine. So on my watchtower, I have 80 entries, which are excellent in terms of security, 19 are good, and 4 of them are weak. They are weak not because of my password, but because the company only asks for a 4-digit password. So of course it's weak. And I can all the time check if there is something vulnerable, if there was a breach report and so on. So it's very practical to actually strengthen the security of the whole organization to this. I think that's about what I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, I can answer them. And as you may see on my personal account, on my personal vault, I don't even really use tags because I have only 4 of them. I currently, so far, I manage my 120 without any tags.
I mean, having like 120 passwords stored and connected to 1Password, it's really amazing to know and to hear. And being able to manage them all and to know how to find that. But also, it's really amazing for me to see that it analyzes your passwords and it makes sure that they are secured and that everything is safe enough. It's really very important today because we are living in one digital world and we have so many accounts that sometimes we even forget about them. So having this tool to make sure that everything is safe, it really makes me happy.
Yeah, I found it was initially when we adopted the tool, the idea was really to make the life of the team easier because otherwise we were literally calling one another to what's the password on this. It was really irritating, taking a lot of time. That was really from a perspective of us final user that we wanted that to make our life easier. In particular, because we were starting to hire people, we wanted them to have access to things, but at the same time, we needed to, to make things easier. And once we set up the system, once we inserted one by one all the passwords of all the tools that we were using, so amongst the one shared, lots of in social media or social media management, but we also have stuff related to bank, to accounting, MailChimp, StreamYard, so a whole bunch of tools. We realized that many of them had the same password. So it was not good from a security perspective. We realized that some of them had very simple password, not good. And in most cases, the password was actually pretty old. It had been for a long time. So when you have a password which has been existing for a long time and used in many tools, so with the same combo, login and password, there is a security risk because it's likely that at least one tool was had a security breach at some point. So once the combo password login is displayed somewhere in the public, then you risk losing access to your stuff, which is bad. So while the initial goal was to simplify our life, we realized really that the big benefit was security, because immediately we saw all the wrong things we were doing. So we changed many passwords, lots of them, and I think we are much stronger at the moment. The last thing I didn't show you is once, in this case, I will show you mine, but I can access the one for my user. I can have a list of all the authorized devices and browser used by the team members, the ones that are trusted. And obviously all of those are from France because I live in France, and they correspond to their own devices and the browser I use. Now, if I have a problem on one account, if I go look at a similar information for my team members, if I see that the team member is living in Nigeria and the access is being from Finland, then of course I can suspect that there is a problem. So it's also a mean to identify where we actually have a problem. Uncle, you have a question, please ask, jump in.
All right. Thank you for the beautiful presentation. Actually, I thought this 1Password is like, I was like actually comparing with it, like our normal, like, Apple password, which you can save many passwords as well. So I was just curious, what's the like main difference between, like, I am using iOS and I can save my passwords. Actually, I can access them by using my thumbprint or face lock. Just like your master, just like how you use your master password here and save other passwords of your members. So I was wondering, what's the like what other benefits can I achieve from this 1Password other than that is not available on the normal Apple password and the rest? And in case whereby I understand one person will create can create an account with 1Password and save a lot of other passwords for the family and the rest. So in case you lost your main password, that you will access the 1Password and the rest. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how can you
If you
access
talk,
it?
yeah, when I was trying to access the tool, by default it will only ask my master password. But if I look from time to time, it asks also a security key. And when you register your account, it provides you a full document with QR code and